colleagues, dear friends, welcome to Bishkek. And let me first introduce our hosts this evening. We have honored to have with us today the two highest office holders in Kyrgyzstan, His Excellency Mr. Sooronbay Jeenbekov, President of Kyrgyzstan, and His Excellency Mr. Dastanbek Jumabek of the Toraga of the Jokorgu Kenesh. And of course, welcome Ms. Rosa Otunbayeva, former President of Kyrgyzstan, and we're really delighted to see all of you, dear hosts. We are grateful for the hospitality of the Kyrgyz Parliament and the support of your government for hosting us in Bishkek this week. Your dedication over the past couple years makes it possible today for the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly to debate crucial issues for Kyrgyzstan, Central Asia, and the rest of the OSCE region. I also studied a little bit Kyrgyz, having meetings with your speaker a few times recently. Biz Bishkek'e, Kopeni Bizge, Afgan Kubanip, Jatabiz, Sin Eza Darga, Chon, Rahmat. Not easy, but for the first time, I think I did it. Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Dear colleagues, excellencies, ambassadors, fellow parliamentarians, for many of us this week will be a first visit to Kyrgyzstan. I hope that you make the most of these few days to discover Kyrgyzstan's landscape and its people and forge a more intimate knowledge of the country's history and traditions. Some of us, myself included, and Roberto Montella, our Secretary General, have already, and of course our staff members, had the pleasure of experiencing Kyrgyzstan's hospitality. In fact, we observed the presidential elections here just last October, marking the 9th time the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly monitored elections in Kyrgyz Republic. Throughout those almost 2 decades of engagement, we have witnessed Kyrgyzstan's achievements in consolidating democratic values. We are all thankful today for the opportunity given through this conference to shine a light on your country's continued efforts to advance reforms. I'm delighted that we will also exchange this week with representatives from our partner international organizations and heads of OSCE missions in Central Asia. This will provide a great opportunity to highlight the value of the OSCE's work on the ground and discuss how our citizens benefit from our organization in a tangible way. It will also go to show the importance of good coordination both with the OSCE and with our international partners to successfully tackle the region's challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, our autumn meeting comes just 3 months after the annual session and therefore offers a chance to follow up on our work and recall the recommendations we have made. As we debated in Berlin, the challenges and the threats affecting the OSCE area are regrettably not decreasing. They are actually increasing and calling our organization to unprecedented responsibility. War is back in Europe. Protracted conflicts continue to claim lives. Hybrid warfare has become more sophisticated. Nationalism is spreading, and with it an increase in racism and intolerance. Fake news and cyber threats undermine our democratic systems, and the impact of migration flows have not yet been met with a convincing and consensual response. The size and scope of these new challenges necessitates closer collaboration and constant communication between OSCE countries, OSCE institutions, and our international partners. This year, our exceptionally good cooperation with the Italian chairmanship has shown that we, the OSCE voice, carries more weight when we work together. Unfortunately, we have seen within the OSCE a deterioration of trust take place to an alarming extent. Fundamental disagreements have resulted in deadlock in Vienna. The basic functioning of our organization is threatened by disputes on issues such as the agenda for our main annual human rights meeting, for instance, just last month. I think we should continue to exchange to find a way out of this impasse. These disagreements have eroded dialogue and entrenched existing conflicts. It has left unfulfilled the agreements that could bring an end to human suffering in Ukraine, or Georgia, or in the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. Absence of political will has not only hamstrung our organization's mediation capabilities, it has also made it more and more difficult for us to address other possible problems that loom on the horizon. Our citizens, the people we serve, expect and deserve better. Dear members, as OSCE parliamentarians, we have a key role to generate political will in support of the implementation of OSCE commitments. This also requires our Parliamentary Assembly to undertake internal reforms to increase the efficiency and the visibility of our work. Together with the International Secretariat and our Bureau, we will continue to find new ways to draw on your expertise and work in a more inclusive manner in order to maximize our impact. I visited last month both Yerevan and Baku to highlight our Assembly's continued engagement in South Caucasus and discuss how Parliamentary Assembly can contribute to advancing peace in the region. 24 years ago, Kyrgyzstan played an active role in delivering the ceasefire agreement in Nagorno-Karabakh. This week, Kyrgyzstan's rich traditions should remind us of the need of continued dialogue within the OSCE and our Parliamentary Assembly. In a country with a cultural heritage shaped by the Epic of Manas, we are reminded of the virtues of oral expression and the creativity. And of course, we saw here very rare, really historical footages of great sons of this country, like Chingiz Aytmatov, great thinker, writer, and a big friend of all the international community, multilateralism, and we respect this personality, of course, greatly. This should echo our never-ending commitment to dialogue and multilateral diplomacy in our quest for comprehensive security. Dear friends, we meet today under the timely theme of promoting security dialogue in Central Asia and beyond. As the past year has shown, we can find inspiration in the diplomatic breakthroughs that have taken place in the region. Uzbekistan and Tajikistan signed in August a strategic partnership agreement, putting an end to years of tension and mistrust. Recent efforts in this region related to the delineation of borders, reopening of flight connections between neighbors, landmark agreements on water management, and massive cross-border infrastructure projects should serve as an example to us all. Our parliamentary conference will explore this week challenges relevant for all OSCE countries. Tomorrow we will debate how to counter new challenges and threats in border areas through confidence building and regional cooperation. We will also hold our annual Mediterranean Forum and consider how to best address migration, trade and environmental challenges in Central Asia and the Mediterranean. We will hear from delegations who have traveled from Algeria, Israel, and Morocco. By doing so, we will highlight that the OSCE's Euro-Asian, Euro-Atlantic, and Mediterranean dimensions are not alternatives to one another. They are complementary to each other. This is also what makes the strength of our organization. And finally, I look forward to your contributions in our last session on strengthening citizens' engagement and building secure societies, which will echo the robust participation of parliamentarians at this year's Human Dimension Implementation Meeting in Warsaw. It will be a good opportunity to emphasize the importance of youth engagement, increased participation of women, and a vibrant civil society in promoting our collective security. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a busy couple of days ahead of us, and I look forward to exchanging with all of our partners present this week, members from the OSCE participating states and partner countries, OSCE institutions and field missions, of course our Kyrgyz hosts, the broader international community and civil society, to promote security dialogue in Central Asia and all across the OSCE area. Thanking once more our Kyrgyz hosts, I wish us all success over the next several days. Let me now give the floor to the President of Kyrgyzstan, Mr. Shoombay Jeenbekov. Thank you very much for your attention.